Hello. Welcome back to Confluent Conversations. And today I've got a very special guest. He's all the way from Colombia. He was raised here, and it's Hugo Enrique. How you been, bro?
Good, bro. We had a conversation, pendiente.
We have.
Hanging on a while back.
We have. To be fair, I was saying to you earlier, when I invited you to my IG live 3 years ago, 2 years ago, that was from Joanne. Love to Joanne. I think she put us in contacts and we really just hit it off from there. It was during a tough time during COVID.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people were mentally there. It was a struggle. But yeah, we're making it happen now, and here we are.
Yeah, those days were actually very difficult. I was in Colombia those days.
Okay.
And I was living with my gran and her husband in a 4-floor house. And when I look back during those days, I always think, how did I manage? And Facebook reminds you of videos. Yeah. And sometimes it reminds me of a video that I did during COVID, which I'm not very proud of. Yeah. Like doing TikToks dancing. But that just proves to me like how mentally unstable I was during those days to be doing all sorts of crazy things. But yeah, I think it was a hard time, but very many good things came out of that. Like I was able to do many charity projects during that year, giving out food to people who were in need during that time, who lived from like the day-to-day businesses and were completely like locked in. So yeah, I think we all got good stuff out of those days as well.
Definitely. I wasn't in Colombia. I was here in London during COVID, but I saw a lot of people suffering in Colombia. How was it for you living in Colombia during that time? Was it tough for the people over there, or was it like... So here we were on lockdown, pretty much 24/7. Yeah, doing jobs from home. Was it the same in Colombia, or was it?
Yeah, I think the beginning of COVID was extremely hard, especially because we didn't know what was going to happen exactly. Yeah. So I remember I got some emails from the British Embassy saying there was some like last flights leaving from Colombia into the UK. But obviously I had like big social projects at the time. So I was like, I don't want to leave. But then I was thinking and saying, but what's going to happen? Yeah. What if I die and I can't say bye to no one? What if someone of my family dies and I can't say bye to them? Yep. Because at that point it seemed, it was terrible, but we all had this negative perception of what was going to happen, or how the future days looked like. And I was like, you know what? God, just give me peace. And I was like, I'm staying. And I'm happy I did, because many good things came out of that. But we were locked in. And for those that know me, I love to talk. I love to make friends. And I became friends in my neighborhood with many people, with the butcher, con la que vende las arepas, con la modista, que me arreglaba la ropa. So I understood that many people lived from like the day-to-day income. Yeah. And I was thinking, how are they going to survive now that they are completely locked in and they have no income? They can't sell arepas, they can't sell, they can't open the butchers. And that gave me an idea to start collecting funds, to be able to give mercados, to give food. And we collected a good amount of money, and I was able to go even to Cali. We went to various neighborhoods giving out lots of food.
Okay, fair enough. I think for a lot of people during that time, nos importó mucho la gente de Colombia, because we could see the struggle, we could see the lack of food. Yeah. But we didn't really think, or por ejemplo, en mi caso, this is just personal for me. O sea, en mi caso, yo no pensé out of the box and go, well, actually, they've got their own businesses, they're going to struggle. I was thinking more of, la gente cómo va a comprar las cosas, cómo va a ir al mercado, cómo van a, I don't know, cómo van a ir al centro. There's a lack of food, a lack of resources in Colombia, and unfortunately a lot of people did struggle. Pero, o sea, en mi cabeza yo nunca pensé, and the people who are entrepreneurs never thought about the people who had their own butchers, who had their own businesses. Yeah. O sea, en mi mente, no es que no existían, sino que no caí en cuenta en ese momento. Sí. And I think that's something that a lot of us don't really think about. We think about the people, los supermercados. Oh my God, how are they going to survive? How are they going to deal with having no food? Pero los entrepreneurs, ¿qué? How much are they going to struggle?
And I think I was going to speak. We'll do Spanglish, but I think it was them that really had a hard time as well. You know, los pequeños y medianos empresarios que tenían empresas que viven del día a día. They live from the day to day, and were completely locked in, and had to survive on, you know, on God's provision and the generosity of those around them. So it was quite tough, but I think it was amazing to see many people rise up to the challenge and start, you know, collecting funds and doing projects. I think it brought a lot of unity as well in people, in families. You know, we used to talk more then than even now, because we used to do Zooms, and the whole family all over used to unite from all parts of the world. So I think in the midst of all the negativity and all the hardship, I think many things positive came out of that also.
Yeah. Y yo creo que la otra cosa en comparación con COVID aquí en Colombia es que aquí empezó muchos entrepreneurs a salir en COVID. En cambio en Colombia yo creo que todos se encerraron, todos no pudieron hacer nada. I know that my family were okay, but en una casa donde se unían todos, that stopped for a while. So I think, looking back, I'd say we were managed a lot better in Colombia. Porque después de COVID empezó los riots, que digamos, todo lo que pasó y la cosa se puso peor. And again, that just caused more stress on the country. Pero en comparación con Colombia, we have it okay. We have it okay here. We can't complain.
Yeah. At least, you know what, talking about the UK, I'm very grateful because, well, 2023 was a time of challenges.
Yeah.
O sea, en general, todo el año 2023 fue un año de retos y de cambios. Y a mí algo que quedó mucho en mi corazón fue por cambio de gobierno en Colombia, yo quedé sin trabajo.
Okay.
Estaba en un trabajo en ese momento que no estaba muy contento y de cierta manera Dios y la vida me guiaron de nuevo a regresar acá. Pero, y lo digo con mucho agradecimiento a Dios, tuve la oportunidad de tomar un avión en Colombia y regresar al Reino Unido y seguir con mi vida, ¿verdad? Y tener un trabajo acá y seguir proyectándome. Pero hay muchos jóvenes que no tienen esa oportunidad en Colombia. Hay muchos jóvenes que tienen que guerrearla y lucharla dentro del territorio nacional para buscar oportunidades que muchas veces es muy difícil, especialmente con los que hemos soñado con trabajar desde el sector público. Entonces, siento esa carga también por la juventud colombiana y por eso me apasiona también tanto el tema de brindar espacios de desarrollo personal y profesional que los puedan ayudar, así sea con herramientas de liderazgo que para algo sé que les va a servir, porque hay jóvenes que no tienen quizás las mismas oportunidades que hemos tenido aquí en países avanzados como el Reino Unido. So that's been something I'm very grateful to the UK for. The fact that I was able to come back here, I've got my home, I've got my parents. You're able to find jobs just with your CV. I don't really need to, like, I need a contact here, I need a contact there. You know, I'm able to apply with my education and with the work I've done. I think we're very fortunate, and it's something that I'm very grateful to the UK for all those opportunities. Even though we're not, well, in my case, I'm not originally English. I'm fully Colombian, but it's taken me as home and given me the opportunities to develop myself into who I am today.
I've got a question for you, and I don't know how people are going to take it or how you might take it. Do you think if you went, so todo colombiano either goes to the UK or to Spain or to USA para mejorar la vida, do you think you'd be in the position you're in now if you had gone, digamos, a España or a Estados Unidos? Do you think you'd be how you are today, or do you think you'd be in a completely different position?
I'm not quite sure, but what I can say is that part of who I am is thanks to the opportunities of education I had here in the UK.
Okay.
And when I talk about education, I'm not only referring to a school or university. I think just day-to-day you're learning, and that for me is education. Day-to-day you're learning when I was in a classroom with so many different cultures, which is something that happens in the UK.
Okay.
Not just cultures, religions. I political and social ideologies. And I think that all enriches the person. You know, diversity enriches the person when it comes from the heart, and when we're able to be open to learn. So I think all the different conferences and seminars, they're able to go here to the UK. You know, if you open Eventbrite, there's so many events you can go to, which will help you to develop personally and professionally. And I love that here. You know, sometimes I'm just like going Eventbrite, like I put South America, Spanish, you know, just to see what's going on. And that's what truly enriches the culture, especially when you have people in a country who are hungry and thirsty for knowledge. I want to learn. And I always felt, you know what I felt from a very young age? I always felt like the difference between me and someone who's rich or a kid I see crossing over to King's School, which is a private school opposite mine, is that he knows more than me. I never thought he was more than me because he had more money. So I said, you know what, if I want to be like them, I just need to learn as much as they know. I need to read. I need to study. Education, I think, is the opportunity that lifts us up in my case. So I always said, you know, I need to study, and I need to study out of school, and I need to go to like homework clubs when I was very young. And I need to go the extra mile. I was a bit of a neek, like we used to call it back then. But I'm grateful for that as well. So I don't know what would have been in my life somewhere else, but I am thankful because the educational opportunities I had here made me who I am.
Okay. And I love the answer. Pero, o sea, yo me crié aquí toda mi vida. I wasn't born here, pero me crié aquí toda la vida. I felt failed by the education system. Para la gente que no sabe, yo sufro de dislexia. Yo nunca leí un libro. Never have I. No, I've never actually read a book. I've never really looked at a book.
Well, you must have to have completed your degree.
No, not really. I just copied and pasted a lot of the internet and I wrote what I needed to write. Pero, o sea, I felt, cuando yo supe que tuve dislexia, todo se me vino, and I was like, oh, okay, now I understand. Porque, why I struggle, why I don't know, reading. O sea, yo para leer un libro, me toca verlo por ahí, la misma página por ahí 10 veces para entenderlo. Y yo no tengo paciencia para eso, if I'm being completely honest. Pero I felt failed by the educational system here. O sea, yo nunca tuve alguien que me dijera, are you okay? Do you need support reading? Do you need support, you know, do you need this type of support? Have you been tested? Eso nunca existió para mí. Y yo creo que para mucha gente tampoco existió eso. El dislexia nunca existió. I'd say early 2000s to mid 2000s. Yo nunca supe que era eso hasta que llegué a la universidad.
I think one thing I'll say to you is I think perhaps you don't give yourself as much credit as you do, because just from the conversations I've had with you, even outside this space, outside the cameras, I can tell that you're someone who's intelligent. And I can also tell you are someone who is well informed, because you're up to date with what's going on, even with the Latino community here. And that's something, you know, perhaps you're not being educated necessarily by reading a book.
Yeah.
You're being educated by those Instagram lives you're watching, by the podcast you're hearing, by the podcast you're doing right now. This is education where we're learning from each other.
Yeah.
So I think in that sense, you're not giving yourself as much credit as you're due. And also I think perhaps in the terms of reading and this, that may be a difficulty you've had, but you've been able to develop intelligence in other areas of your life. And I think we're all intelligent in different things.
Yeah.
And something that we are very fortunate for as well is that we're able to share this, because back in the day, perhaps that support didn't existed. But do you see it changing nowadays, that there's more awareness of it?
I don't know. I think people are speaking more about, you know, mental health a lot more than what we used to have.
Yeah.
People are speaking more about, you know, having learning difficulties, learning disabilities a lot more. Pero en términos de ayuda, I'd say it's a very small increase in sense of support that I've seen. People go, actually, okay, we can help you in this. Yo creo que se puede hacer mucho más. Pero lo que se va a decir es que somos mucho más avanzados que el tercer mundo o the third world countries, como nosotros sabemos. Unfortunately, Colombia is a third world country y allá, pues las veces que yo he ido nunca se ha hablado de la salud mental. So, yes, the UK is ahead in that sense, pero todavía se puede hacer mucho más.
Mucho más.
Y no se está haciendo mucho, no se está haciendo casi nada.
Do you think, as you said, we're more advanced here in many matters. I think Colombia has been growing, though. I hear this subject like being touched upon more than before. But you know what you've been sharing is a huge challenge for me, because one of the passions I have is education.
Yeah.
So like that's why I create these spaces with young people, because I believe it will equip them.
Yeah.
And give them opportunities to learn and thrive, and also to motivate and inspire, which for me, being motivated and inspired are two keys of our day-to-day lives. But it is a struggle to think that perhaps young people, children that are trying to get through the education system and need support and need help don't receive it. And I think what you're doing is great, because you can also lift up your voice and say, hey, there may be young people behind me that are going through that very same process and need the help. And right now I can be a voice through social media, through the work I'm doing, to make them aware that they actually do need that support. And, you know, it's more of a challenge as well, as you say, in South America.
Yeah.
Porque si aquí el tema con el apoyo de la educación nos hace falta, imagínense en países como Colombia, donde hace mucha falta. No sé qué tipo de ayudas existan en los colegios públicos para los niños que tienen dislexia, que luchan con tantos diferentes temas de aprendizaje. In my case, perhaps I didn't go through perhaps the same difficulties as you did, but we were sharing before, I struggled a lot with certain subjects. When I got to uni, I found a lot of support. I found that I had a private tutor, and you know, we had this whole equipment for people who had dyslexia in certain areas. And I thought there was someone there, even with like the extra time. Yeah, that for me was useful. I needed the extra time for certain works and for certain coursework. I feel like I did, especially, I don't know if you had, sometimes we had like 5 deadlines in the same week. Yeah. Which were crazy. Yeah. And yeah, I used to go mad. So I did find support in uni. But it's amazing that you're able to share your story and see how other people can be supported nowadays as well.
You know what I think? I think we're very similar in el sentido que nos gusta ayudar a la gente. Yo cuando empecé esta aventura, este camino, was to be a motivational speaker, pero ya haciendo esto casi 4 años, yo no siento que necesito ser a TEDx speaker anymore. I don't think I need to go up on stage and speak. I think I found my space and I found my sort of environment. Pero yo ya entiendo que so I've always struggled finding my niche and finding the people that I wanted to connect to. Y yo creo que la gente que yo siempre he querido con la gente que he querido conectar más es, number one, the youth. Porque me siento más conectado a ellos. I feel like we're very similar age and we've struggled sort of in the same ways. Pero también con la gente que tiene discapacidades. Because I know what it's like. I know que es difícil to go, you know, why are people going to love me? Why are people going to like me? Why am I going to become a burden for people? Porque así me sentí yo por mucho tiempo. Yo era la persona callada at the back of the room, pretending not to exist, por timidez, porque me da pena ser yo. So, gracias a Dios, I've had the right people around me. I've had you, Erika. I've had a few people who have motivated me and been like, Juan, you've got a voice. And I think, si yo puedo ayudar a la gente que sufrieron o que están sufriendo como lo hice yo, then I'm happy. My goal is complete.
¿Cuál crees que han sido las claves que te han ayudado a mantener motivado a ti?
Em, yo creo que si no hubiera sido por mi abuelo, no estaría aquí, honestamente. Él, que en paz descanse, pero, o sea, él se enfermó al principio del COVID, I think. 2021. Él estaba enfermo y mi papá nos dijo. Y ahí fue el momento para mí donde yo me dije, la vida es muy corta, tengo que ir por lo que yo quiero. Fue en ese preciso momento, en el 2021. Y desde ahí siempre le he dado, siempre le... O sea, no me he querido rendir. Yo le hice una promesa a mis papás que los iba a retirar de trabajar. Y yo creo que ese ha sido uno de los goles que me han tenido motivado. Pero si le digo la verdad, lo que más me tiene motivado es el cambio que estoy viendo. O sea, no el cambio en la comunidad, no en el cambio en la gente, pero más en lo que yo hago. Yo me siento más cómodo, más confidente en mí mismo. Y honestamente, cuando la gente dice, bueno, usted es un berraco, usted hace lo que muchos de nosotros no hace. You know, you go to the gym and you enjoy it and you post it. You come on lives and you do content because you love it. I'm like, yeah, pero yo no estoy haciendo nada distinto. Yo estoy haciendo lo que yo quiero porque quiero. And they're like, no, but you don't get it. A lot of people are scared of getting in front of the camera. A lot of people are scared of posting the weight in the gym or going to the gym. And you're doing it. O sea que yo creo que en ese sentido es lo que más me ha motivado. Because I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe if they see me doing it, then they'll decide to do it.
Algo que a mí me parece fundamental es poder ser genuino a través de esos espacios. Porque, like you were saying, you were doing all these, perhaps, I don't know if it's happened to you, but I was doing motivational talks, estaba haciendo giras de conferencias en Colombia motivando a los jóvenes y yo estaba sin trabajo y yo estaba aplicando y mandando hojas de vida y muchas veces iba a los eventos y en el maletín llevaba hojas de vida y yo decía, si el director me da una oportunidad le presento una hoja de vida porque estoy sin trabajo. Y muchas veces estaba dando una conferencia motivacional y tenía 20,000 pesos, que son como less than 5 pounds en el bolsillo. Y yo mismo me he motivado durante la conferencia a soñar y a impactar, pero porque yo mismo estaba pasando un proceso difícil. Y creo que esos espacios nos han dado la oportunidad de contar historias como estas. El hecho de que una persona se suba quizás a dar una conferencia motivacional o que use esos espacios de podcast para compartir algo no quiere decir que no tenga una lucha en este momento, que no tenga un reto financiero, un reto emocional. En ciudades como Londres muchas veces el clima nos afecta mucho emocionalmente también. Yo cuando llegué año pasado de Colombia me afectó mucho. Cuando empecé a ver que se estaba oscureciendo a las 4 de la tarde. Y tiene uno que constantemente estar motivado, pero qué excelente es poder ser abierto, ser genuino, comentar esas necesidades que hemos pasado también, que no ha sido un recorrido fácil, que ha luchado. Y the best thing about you is that you're able to use, like you were saying, you found within your own environment a way to feel comfortable with who you are and to raise your voice. And I do agree with what people say, es un berraco, because a lot of people may find, so many challenges in what they're doing, and you've been able to rise up to the challenge and say, you know what, if I'm going to stay at home just locked in, well, I'm not going to be doing anything. I'm able to use my voice. I'm able to inspire through my story. I'm able to be a voice to those that are still behind me and are trying to find a way as well. And I'm able to be connected with the Latino Colombian community here that migrated and support them with our stories. And I think you know what, in times like we are now, I think people need so much motivation, and people need to hear these stories to constantly like encouraged.
Pero yo creo que honestamente, si le soy sincero, I don't know, like, being genuine, o sea, el contenido que yo hacía antes, because my content has changed this year a lot. O sea, el contenido que yo hacía antes, yo había veces que yo, fuck's sake, I've got to make another video y no tengo nada. And sometimes I've recorded like 6, 7 times para subir la energía y esa energía a veces no está ahí. Y eso es difícil. Es difícil tener la energía ahí every single day.
Yeah.
Even with my IG lives, it became algo de puro habit. It just became a habit. Yo decía, oh fuck, I haven't done a live in a while. Oh, let me just do one for the sake of doing it. En cambio, ahora siento like I'm actually having the conversation. No es algo de puro habit, no es algo que yo disfruto. Pero yo creo que I needed to go through everything that I went through in the last 3 years to get to where I am today para poder entender, okay, la gente sí sufre, la gente sí tiene sus problemas y hay algunos que no le van a gustar mi contenido, that's absolutely fine, hay gente que sí. Hay gente que van a criticar, hay gente que lo van a apoyar, that's absolutely fine. Yo, cuando mi abuelo se murió, casi me rindo. Y eso no lo sabe mucha gente. Casi digo, you know what, fuck it, I'm not doing it anymore. Mi abuelo ya se murió. Yo creo que ya para qué, ya que ya no vale la pena. And like I said, Joanne was a big support for me back then. Y fue ella la que me sacó de ese mindset y me habló y me dijo, Juan, take your time, just grieve. Like, no one's gonna rush you, no one's gonna support you. Y fue ahí donde yo entendí, like, actually, I don't need to be posting every day. I can take breaks. Even if I take an extended break, people will be like, yeah, where's Juan? But they'll understand, actually, you might be going through something. Y eso es algo que yo nunca entendía. Yo nunca entendí, like, people that post every day are people that are also struggling. Yo nunca entendía eso hasta que yo pasé por ahí.
Es que ayer daba una conferencia y hablaba de eso, de que muchas veces hemos caído en un error y creo que muchas veces lo he dicho, pero uno lo debemos reconocer, y es que hemos publicado los mejores momentos de nuestra vida, pero no los malos, ¿no? ¿Verdad? En unos días voy para Colombia y publicar las fotos en Colombia, pero no todo el año que estaba trabajando, ahorrando para poder ir. Publicamos el día que nos dan el trabajo, pero no publicamos la cantidad de veces que nos rechazaron y la cantidad de veces que repartimos hojas de vida. Y así sucesivamente en muchas experiencias de la vida. Publicamos, quizás la gente publica las relaciones cuando son exitosas, pero no publica la ruptura. Publica quizás las canciones de despecho, pero no publicamos esos momentos de procesos. Y todo lo tenemos. Y muchas veces podemos ver en una pantalla una persona motivando o hablando o haciendo un reel, pero no sabemos realmente en qué estado está esa persona. Pero algo que yo muchas veces hablo en las conferencias y que para mí es un tema fundamental es cuando uno encuentra un propósito más allá de uno mismo. Porque creo que ese propósito más allá de uno mismo, también uno le encuentra motivación. Cuando uno puede ver de que mi vida es un instrumento para bendecir a otra persona, mi voz puede alentar a otra persona, mi voz puede inspirar a otra persona, eso a mí me da motivación. Porque no solo es Hugo Enrique, es Hugo Enrique. Hugo Enrique está pudiendo con su voz bendecir a otras personas, igual que Juan lo está haciendo también a través de lo que está haciendo. Una vez en Colombia tenía una conferencia y un amigo que conocí me dijo, pero usted qué hace acá si no consigue trabajo, váyase para Londres. Pero yo en ese momento estaba que era Colombia y tenía que vivir en Colombia, tenía que vivir en Colombia. Y él me dijo, ¿qué hace aquí? Aquí no hay futuro, mijo, váyase. Váyase. Y yo era como que yo no me quiero ir. Pero era chistoso porque él sí tenía muy buen trabajo en Colombia y le estaba yendo bien. Entonces yo decía, pero, pues, él sí está bien y me dice a mí que me vaya. Y yo después de ese café que nos estábamos tomando tenía una conferencia y salí de ese café con él llorando. Yo no me quiero ir de Colombia, no me quiero ir de Colombia. Me acuerdo que llamé a mi mamá, le dije, ahí me están diciendo que me vaya, que aquí no hay futuro. Y mamá me dijo, usted va con ese desespero y esa depresión a dar una conferencia motivacional. Le digo yo, pues me bajaron los ánimos porque pues me sentía frustrado con 27, 28 años que tenía en ese momento sin conseguir trabajo en Colombia. Y sabiendo que había dejado aquí mi familia, mi estabilidad, o sea, tantas cosas por un futuro en Colombia que en ese momento no se veía posible. Y cuando empecé a dar esa conferencia y empecé a hablar y hablar del propósito, y hablar de las luchas y de los esfuerzos y del trabajo y la perseverancia, yo mismo salí motivado.
Ajá.
Y yo mismo era como el que me estaba dando la conferencia a mí de que sueñe en
Ajá.
grande, Hugo, que se iba a poder soñar, cumplir sus sueños y también algún día impactar a través de esos sueños. Entonces, creo que hoy en día me he sentido más cómodo. Me he sentido también, como decías, que ya ahora te sientes más cómodo en tu propio ambiente. También me ha pasado a mí de poder contar historias de mi vida que quizás antes de pronto, no sé por qué me daban pena contarlas, o con decir que muchas veces estaba dando las conferencias y estaba sin plata, pero era la realidad del tema. Y la gente nunca me creía porque siempre andaba con gafas en el avión y andaba sin plata, pero yo decía, bueno, esto es quién soy yo.
Ajá.
Y la gente me decía, es que por eso no le dan trabajo, porque la gente cree que usted está bien. Yo le decía, pero yo no voy a aparentar pobreza para que me den un trabajo. Esas gafas las traje de Londres, me valieron 3 pounds en Primark. Pero esas oportunidades que nos han dado las redes ahora, de poder compartir esas historias y ser genuino, pero también todo tiene un proceso, ¿no? Yo creo que no hay que esforzar a las personas a abrir su corazón, a abrir pues secretos que quizás no quieren hacerlo si no tienen que hacerlo. Todos tenemos un proceso diferente y a mí he llegado a este momento de mi vida donde me siento cómodo contando historias porque siento que todas esas historias son los que me han hecho hoy la persona que puedo ser. Y no sé, desde cumplir los 30 me siento más seguro de mí mismo, más orgulloso de mí mismo. Alguien me preguntaba hace poco que si podía volver a tener 20 años, volvería.
Ajá.
Y me quedé como pensando, porque hay momentos muy chéveres like from my 20s to my 30s that were really good. Entonces yo les dije, me gustaría vivirlos otra vez, pero si pudiera sacar algunos momentos que no me gustaron de esa década.
Ok.
Pero también me gustaría volver sabiendo lo que sé ahora en ese momento y sintiéndome como me siento hoy. Porque yo a los 20 años no me sentía como me siento hoy. O sea, no tenía complejos, tenía miedos, tenía inseguridades, que hoy en día todavía los hay, pero ya no son como los que eran en ese momento. Y la vida, he entendido que la vida es a bit of a paradox. Because, yeah, you're getting old, which is a negative thing, but at the same time, you feel better. I feel better. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel very good with who I am right now. And I didn't feel like that when I was 25.
I think we have it better than the youth today. And I'm going to explain. I just want to say it in the right words. So, we had a tough childhood. We struggled with mental health. We weren't allowed to cry.
I've cried a lot.
I said it nice to be fair.
I cry in my room alone.
I used to. I haven't cried in a while though. No, but we had to be very thick-skinned in our families. O sea, siendo Latino, you've got to be thick-skinned, and I've said this on multiple podcasts. Los papás de un Latino will always use your flaws against you. You know, está gordito, está calvito, se está tomando toda la sopita. And you have to be very thick-skinned o no entender lo que le están diciendo. But growing up, o sea, si me preguntaran ahora, would I live the life that I've lived up until now? Just relive it, I'd say yes, 100%. No porque yo disfruté el dolor y todo eso, no. Like I was saying, our childhood was tough and we struggled, you know. We came from immigrant parents who came to the country to give us a better life. We had a lot of Pablo Escobar comments, a lot of cocaine comments, a lot of discrimination. Pero
and it gets to you.
It does get to you. It does get to you, and you lose your identity at some point. However, growing up and seeing what you become and seeing who you are and surrounding yourself by the right people and doing the things that you do because you love it, and not only that, but actually you owe it to yourself and your parents because they sacrificed a lot to get you to this point. That's why I say we had it hard growing up, but right now we live in a world where we have it quite good. Yes, there's financial burden, there's a lot of debt, pero like,
Housing crisis.
100%, pero, o sea, nada de eso importa. Nada de eso importa as long as you're happy. And I think that's what tells us apart. En cambio, los niños de ahora son alegres con sus teléfonos, con maquillajes, con sus novios, con sus novias, y disfrutando de la vida. But once you hit 18, 20 and you're working and you're struggling, it's a different life and it's difficult. I don't think it's difficult for us because we've seen our parents do it, and a nosotros no nos cuesta mucho to value our parents. Nosotros valoramos todo lo que ellos hicieron, valoramos el esfuerzo que ellos nos metió a nosotros, el estudio, la escuelita español, the 2 jobs that our parents were working, the cleaning all day and dándose turnos entre mamá y papá para cuidar a los hijos. Even single mothers working part-time to get the children ahead. We will see that and we value that. I don't think a lot of people see that anymore, and they live for themselves. We live for our parents.
Someone was telling me that actually at a conference I had here in London, she was saying, I don't think my daughters saw my esfuerzo, my effort.
Yeah.
And that has not made them value the process that I've been through as well. We, in my case, I think, like, for example, when my siblings were born, well, to be honest, when they were around, before they were even 2 years, we got the residence here and the legal status here in the UK. So I think they grew up in better years. I saw the strive of my parents. I saw us get kicked out of the hostels. I saw us go to the council and wait to be relocated. I saw my parents got so many times get mistreated because they didn't speak English. I saw the discrimination many times. I saw the signs they used to do when you said you were from Colombia. I went through that process with my parents when they had to sign in the Home Office in Croydon. All these things. When my siblings were born, nothing of that happened. We were already legal residents here in the UK, and things started to change, and we got accommodation. I went through that, but I think that's why also I have this passion for social matters and the social field, because I was able to see just how much of a blessing a social activist can be in society, how much it can actually help. And also I saw the strive of Colombians, of Latinos. I used to hear so many bad comments about Colombia. I think that's why I became obsessed in a good way with the country, because I said I have to grow up and represent my country in the best way possible I can. Like, I never imagined one day I was going to be a youth ambassador in an international organization representing my country. That I was going to sit down in the UN hall with my little Colombian badge here, which for me is full of pride. I always like take on my chest. But those opportunities have come. But all that passion, I think, and all the places I've been able to reach as well, were because I saw the strife and the struggles of my parents, as you're saying. And that for me was a message to say, you know what, you have to be involved in the social field. And to be honest, the social field has become my passion. And I hope one day to be able to combine politics and social work together, because I also love politics, and I aim to get there at some point. But yeah, being able to live those experiences, as you said, make you who you are. And I know I said there's some moments of my life I would like to perhaps delete, because they were very traumatic. But also when I look now, I was like, hey, but you know, I'm here. I went past them, so I'm a bit stronger than I think, because I was able to go through, for me, really, really, really hard stuff. But yeah, again, we need to think that if you've had it hard, I think I've had it hard in some ways. There's people that have had it way much harder.
100%.
And now that I've been, like, I don't know if you know, I've done over 300 conferences in Colombia in the last 4 years. I've been able to travel all around the country. I went to La Guajira, which was a dream come true for me.
Really?
We did 7 events in a week over there, and there were places it was so emotional, because there were places I went to in La Guajira where people would say, this is the first event in my lifetime focused on youth leadership that we've had here in my village. And I would say, wow, you know, I feel honored to be the first person that comes here, and listening to stories. You know, we had an event and people inviting me to their houses, and they were literally made out of hay. I don't know what you call them.
Oh yeah, hay, straw.
That's what they have. The houses there over there. But also, I was very shocked because there were people with so much joy, and something that really struck to me in these places were, you know, you always hear people speaking to like, oh, London, or, you know, there's also Colombians here that I think they forget they're Colombian. So they're like, ay, no, yo por allá, Colombia, no, yo me quedo aquí en Londres toda mi vida, yo no tengo nada que hacer por allá. And I'm like, you're Colombian, like it or not. But something that really astonished me from there were...
That was me.
You don't say that, do you?
I used to. I used to, but I'll go back to that.
We can't be friends. I'm joking. Something that really struck me was to see so many young people who said that they wanted to achieve their dreams and be prosperous financially, but to also give back to their community where they had grew up. And I thought that was amazing because they have grew up in areas that are completely struck down by poverty and struck down by so many needs, and they face injustice and inequality and discrimination, but yet they had the desire to give back to their community. And that for me was amazing. I understand some people grew up here, so they're like, you know, I born here, I have nothing to do over there. But no, but we're from there, and our roots are, I think, there, and that's where we are from.
Although 100%, o sea, lo mío siempre fue, yo cuando iba no tenía nadie, o sea, yo me aburría mucho.
Tenemos que ir y me acompaña a hacer conferencias.
Ajá. Yo era like, me quedé para la casa, los días muy largos, I just can't be asked anymore. Y eso es después de like a few days. Pero, o sea, now looking back, y yo, o sea, yo en el trabajo yo decía, I'm not going back home, ¿para qué? No tengo a nadie allá. Pero ahora que se murió mi abuelo, yo siento que necesito volver a cerrar un capítulo, pero también siento ahora que de pronto me puedo dar la oportunidad de vivir allá algún día. Like, I'm not saying I'm definitely going to go back and live there, but I can definitely see myself going back. And I can see myself trying to spend time with family. El hecho mío es que yo no tengo a nadie y no me gusta ser chaperoned by everyone. Eso lo detesto. I hate, like, having a group of people behind me being like, yeah, we're going here, we're going there. No se tiene que acompañar para acá, para allá. I'm like...
But you know, that's happened to me as well. Because I love Colombia, as you know, but I'm a London boy.
Yeah.
Well, I got here when I was 2 years. So the first time I went back to Colombia, I was like 14. So I'm a London boy. I love my London transport. Like, for me, London transport is a gift. I know it has its drawbacks, but for example, in the time I've been here, I think I've been able to finish like 5-6 books during my commute time. It's not that I love reading.
Yeah.
There's just books that really catch my attention. Okay. And I love reading because I like all the motivational stuff. I like biographies and autobiographies. And there's one I read recently, which I completely loved. So I'm a London boy. And I grew up giving people instructions of how to get to places. Yeah. And I grew up, this hand is the London Underground map. You tell me how to get from Finsbury Park to Wimbledon, I'll tell you, or if you need to go, I don't know, to London Bridge, I can tell you literally, get off here, change here. Yeah. It's in my head. So being in Colombia and having to ask questions to people and feeling like I'm a tourist here, although I'm Colombian, it's just so weird. I think it's been weird for us because, I'm Colombian, I was born in Colombia, but I don't know my country. Yeah. But that's why I was so grateful to be able to travel, because I felt in connection to my people, to communities. I had the opportunity to also go into Florencia, Caquetá, and that is, it was a area in Colombia which was really affected by internal violence and the internal conflict during the 70s and the 80s. And still we went into villages there where at 7, it would get dark, and we were doing like workshops there with young people, and we had no signal. We were in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, oh my God, where am I? And it was a very daunting experience. But you know what? When I got the plane back to Bogotá and I landed in Bogotá, I said to myself, wow, estuve en Colombia. Because I had been to the true Colombia, you know, that one we see perhaps in films where they have no Wi-Fi, where they live, like we were saying, from the day-to-day business. And I think that's enriched me in my leadership journey with the work I do over there, but also as a person to be able, you know, how, for me, it's hard to think that I can, you know, if the Wi-Fi goes off, I need the internet. And I'm like, how do these people sleep here completely disconnected from the world? So it just learns and it opens your mind to the different lives that people live and the different cultures that they have. But also, as I say, you know, going to these places, you find people with dreams everywhere. You know, there's people that have so many dreams, even in these, like in the middle of jungles and there was no internet, as I say. They were full of dreams, and they were even like making businesses, emprendimientos with like natural sugar. They gave me a tea, which I'll never forget, which is 100% organic, and it's made out of menthol. But literally, you smell it first, and as soon as you smell it, it opens up all your airwaves. And when you drink it, you're like, you just feel like it opens up your airwaves completely. It was amazing. I brought 2 back. They're finished now. I don't know how to get in contact with the persons from over there because he was amazing. But seeing young people having these businesses, and they were like, they go to like the city centers to sell their businesses to tourists. Just makes me aware and to be sure that there are many people out there that have dreams, and there's many people that want to also do something to their communities.
Yeah, I think lo que la gente me se le olvida, and it's something que lo quiero hacer both aquí y en Colombia, es visitar una cárcel y hablar con los prisioneros. I think you forget that they're human as well. Yes, they've committed crimes. They might be sex offenders, child offenders, murderers, por lo que sea. Usted se le olvida que son personas también que tienen sueños, que tienen vidas. A mí me gustaría, and I've said this to my parents, I've said this all my life to myself, quiero visitar una cárcel both aquí en Colombia and actually just speak to people and be like, okay, si usted podría hacer algo, un negocio, ir a estudiar algo, what would it be? Porque la gente se lo olvida, you know. These people outside had a life. Antes de volverse criminales, antes de cometer las ofensas or whatever led them to these crimes, they had a life. They had dreams, pero desafortunadamente they took the wrong route. Y es algo que yo quiero hacer soonish. No sé cómo lo voy a hacer todavía, pero I'll figure something out.
I'm just getting an idea. So we need to do. We need to go to Colombia together and do. You can accompany me in some of the conferences. I went to the child offenders prison. Estuve en la cárcel de menores en Cúcuta. Cuando estuve allá haciendo una gira. Y visitar esta cárcel de menores en Cúcuta fue una experiencia increíble porque pude escuchar la historia de los jóvenes. O sea, cada uno tiene una historia muy diferente y cada uno me compartía su historia. Muchos habían crecido huérfanos, habían tomado una mala decisión en cierto momento y no quiere decir que eran malas personas. Tomaron, como digo, un mal camino en cierto momento de desespero en su vida. Pero también me fui lleno de mucha motivación porque vi que eran jóvenes que estaban buscando la manera también de cumplir su condena y salir y seguir aportándole al mundo. Y ¿sabe qué me sorprendió? Yo soy muy respetuoso con mi fe, pero compartí algo y les dije, ¿ustedes me permiten hacer una oración y orar por ustedes? Y todos, sí, por favor, ore. Y me impactó que ellos mismos querían que uno hiciera una oración y ese momento. Y también me impactó en muchos lugares que llegué que eran totalmente azotados por la pobreza. Todavía se vivían quizás las cicatrices del conflicto interno en Colombia. Y llegar y ver que los jóvenes eran tan creyentes, que tenían tanta fe en Dios y las familias, Creo que eso ha sido un sostén y una fortaleza para muchas personas durante mucho tiempo. Creo que para nuestros padres, el ser tan creyentes y pasar tantas dificultades en Londres es lo que los mantuvo con fuerza. Mi mamá dice que Dios le dio una promesa, bueno, a mis padres les dio una promesa aquí en esta ciudad de Londres, que nos iba a bendecir acá, pero también a través de nosotros íbamos a poder bendecir a otras personas. No sé si conoces ese versículo, que para mí ha sido como un lema muy importante, que es cuando God speaks to Abraham and he gives him a promise, pero para mí esa promesa es una clave de vida, porque le dice, te bendeciré y serás de bendición. I shall bless you and you will be a blessing. Yeah. And that for me is like a key to life. Why? Because he didn't just say to him, te voy a bendecir a ti y ya. It's just for you to live nice and live comfortable with your family. No, you will be also a blessing to others through what I'm going to give you. And when we understand in our lives that everything we receive and everything we are is also to give to others, to impart to others, to share our stories, to do these podcasts, to look for ways in we can create like educational spaces, to invest in entrepreneurs. There's so many things we do to fight for global, in favor of, against global warming and the consequences it's having, to fight for gender equality, for quality education, for all these things. We realize that there is purpose in life. And that is the key to life. You know, I think many times being selfish is not positive at all. And I just shared, like, from my own personal experience, I've gone through many episodes of huge anxiety, like very, very high levels of anxiety. And something that has allowed me to go past those stages is realizing that I will be blessed, but also to be a blessing. Okay. There is a purpose in me more than just Hugo, but it's that Hugo can use his life to bless the life of others. Just that it's the same for you as one. You will be blessed, but also so that through everything you're doing, I know you have challenges coming up as well, that you were sharing before. With that, with everything you receive along the way, remember it's there so that you can also help and support other people along the way.
Yeah, o sea, yo no... Eso es duro para mí decir. O sea, yo no es que sea muy religioso. O sea, yo no voy a misa. Pero en el 2018 fue donde yo empecé a conectar con Dios en my own way. O sea, yo no he tocado la Biblia tampoco. Hago las novenas en diciembre. That's about it. Pero yo ahora vivo por un dicho que for me it's a blessing. And for me, me calma mucho la ansiedad y me ayuda a like entender por qué pasan las cosas. O sea, I go by everything happens for a reason. Todo pasa por algo. Whether it's a lesson, whether it's a blessing, lo que sea, yo vivo por eso. O sea, cuando a mí no me salen las cosas, a mí no me dan un trabajo, o me echen de un trabajo, o tengo un trabajo, yo entiendo que es por algo que viene hacia mí. I understand que de pronto el trabajo no era para mí. De pronto it's letting me, you know, look a little bit higher or actually slow down a little bit. O de pronto me están diciendo, actually, esta gente que you're surrounding yourself with just aren't for you. So everything that happens to me, yo entiendo, okay, it's for a reason. Y yo no me cuestiono mucho por qué, porque yo entiendo que Dios es el que me está guiando. Aunque yo no sea muy religioso, yo sí creo mucho en Dios. Pero yo me dejo guiar por Dios para las que sea. O sea, yo no cuestiono nada. Yo digo, you know what? If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it isn't, it's in your hands and I trust in you. Y eso para mí es muy bonito porque yo no estoy preocupado por nada. No estoy preocupado. Oh my God, I'm in debt. Oh my God, no tengo trabajo. Oh my God, está pasando tal cosas. Oh my God, están hablando de mí. Eso a mí no me importa. I'm just trying to live a happy life, doing what I love, having these conversations. Y pase lo que pase, va a pasar. Así sea para mí, así no sea para mí, va a pasar y hay que aceptarlo.
I think what you're sharing happened to me last year, because I was fighting, I think, with God and myself when I was like, I had to stay in Colombia, I have to stay in Colombia, I have to stay in Colombia. But science was showing me to come back to London, and doors were closing in Colombia.
Yeah.
Like literally, cada puerta que yo tenía en Colombia se estaba empezando a cerrar. Y fue como que Dios me dijo como que, pues, I surrender. If you want me to go back to London, I'll go back to London. And I remember one day I was very frustrated and with a huge level of anxiety, and I was walking through el centro de Pereira. Y yo, Dios mío, ¿qué hago? No sé qué hacer, a dónde aplico, just thinking of so many things in my head. Y paso, había un banner outside a travel agency que decía, es tu tiempo de visitar Londres. And I just said, I'm going to ignore that sign. Yeah. That's just a huge coincidence that London's there right there. But then when I got back here, I started seeing like everything went into place, even though I didn't want to return to London in that moment, because I was seeing all the positive things I was also doing over there. And yeah, I came back here, and something that I always share with my friends that for me has no price right now. There's things in my life I want to be better, and I wish things were different. I want to be financially more successful as well. Yeah. But I'm at peace, and I like that. You know, I go to peace to sleep, and I'm like, whilst many times in Colombia I was very anxious. I was, you know, being far from my family as well, and I felt like I was like scraping. I don't know if you get what I mean, like trying to reach things. And although it was a blessing the time I was there, and I'm just so grateful for everything that happened, there was also a time when it was like, this time is over right now. Yeah, I just need you to go back to London. And now that I'm here, I've been able to, there's just moments where I'm like, I look up into heaven, I'm like, oh, I see why you wanted me here. When I get like opportunities and things that are coming up, I'm like, oh, you know. So it's really cool what you're saying, because sometimes we're trying to fight against the creator of the universe when he knows what's better for us at the end of the day. Still nowadays, and I don't have to share this because probably people know, although I'm in London right now, viviendo acá en Londres en este momento, mi sueño es poder usar mi vida para aportar al desarrollo de mi país, Colombia, y sé que aportando de esa manera voy a poder también aportar a la sociedad en general. Pero para mí, y lo digo con mucho respeto, porque cada quien ama su país y lucha por sus comunidades, para mí Colombia se ha convertido en una motivación de vida, en una razón de ser. Todo este año he estado planeando conferencias en Colombia, eventos en Colombia, espacios en Colombia, pero tampoco creo que está mal, porque todos hemos sido llamados a diferentes espacios. Ese es el que me tocó a mí, porque yo muchas veces le digo, es que yo veo gente que es de Colombia y no ama a Colombia tanto como yo. Entonces yo digo, ¿y yo por qué amo tanto a Colombia? O sea, ¿por qué me tocó a mí? Hasta que un día entendí que ese amor que yo siento por mi país me lo puso Dios. Yo no escogí decir, voy a amar a Colombia y un día voy a dejar a mi familia, me voy a ir a buscar trabajo allá y a repartir hojas de vida cuando ya tenía todo aquí solucionado. Ese amor me lo puso Dios. Y creo que así todos los que sentimos un amor por algo, una obsesión por algo, obsesiones positivas, es porque Dios nos ha puesto eso ahí, y es para que también nos podamos enfocar en eso. Y esa pasión y ese amor también es una motivación todos los días para uno levantarse con ganas y trabajar. Yo a veces cuando veo aquí durante este invierno, que no ha estado tan malo, pero que veo ese cielo gris y está lloviendo, digo, no, pero voy para Colombia, voy para Colombia. Y eso me mantiene como motivado. Entonces, esas motivaciones y esa pasión son lo que nos mantienen ahí luchando día a día en la vida también.
Le digo una cosa que aprendí yo no last December, December before. Yo veo mucho a mis papás ayudar a Colombia, ayudar a sus mercados y ayudar mucho a la gente de Colombia. Y yo quise aportar mucho en eso con ellos. Pero I realized que lo que yo necesito hacer ahora es ayudar a la gente de aquí with disabilities, with difficulties, with mental health, antes de poder ayudar a mi país. I was rushing way too fast in helping the people in Colombia cuando yo me crié aquí. So now in my mind, if I can make these videos, I can do what I need to do here y enfocarme en eso primero. Ya después puedo ayudar a la gente en Colombia. I'll be like, oh, okay, that's just the blueprint that I need to help people in Colombia. Porque yo ahora no puedo hacer nada en Colombia. Yo no sé cómo voy a hacer, no sé cómo voy a ayudar. Pero yo me siento orgulloso de poder saber que estoy aprendiendo, estoy entendiendo cómo se puede ayudar a la gente. Pero entiendo también que tengo que empezar por donde es. No puedo adelantarme a 1000 millas por hora y decir, oh my God, I'm gonna help this country, this country, this country. Cuando no me toca todavía.
Y eso es lo que hablo yo de los procesos y de la pasión. Porque, ¿qué pasa si todo el mundo tuviera la misma pasión mía o todo el mundo tuviera la misma pasión que tiene usted? O sea, todos tenemos pasiones diferentes y eso nos lleva a poder enfocarnos y cada uno sembrar un granito de arena en el mundo en el que está. A mí, ¿sabe qué me cambió la mentalidad un poco? Porque pues yo siempre decía, quiero ayudar a Colombia, quiero ayudar a Colombia, quiero ayudar a Colombia. Y entendí que si ayudo a un colombiano que está aquí, también estoy ayudando a Colombia. Entonces, esa semana hicimos un evento aquí en el consulado y estaba lleno de colombianos. Entonces, eso también es Colombia. También son colombianos que un día dejaron su país buscando más oportunidades y que si estando acá en Londres los podemos ayudar, pues también de esa manera estoy ayudando a mi país y eso me ayuda como a estar contento acá también, sabiendo que estoy aportando al desarrollo social de diferentes comunidades. Y ahora algo que tenemos en mente es poder hacer los schools tours that I was doing in Colombia, do them here. So you want to go around different schools in London, bringing like these motivational conferences and allowing young people to listen to other stories as well. I just love the whole idea of sharing stories and experiences. Because when I was in school and like other young people would come to share their stories, that would really encourage me. So it's great to be able for me to replicate this and do it now. And I'm there like planning with different people how we can organize that schools tours and bring those spaces where we can also like sow a bit of positivity and encouragement and also leadership skills, which I think are so important in this current young generation here. So I'm opening my spectrum as well to work in so many different areas. And I've even had like messages from like Ecuador.
Oh, wow.
To go and do Sueña Impacta over there. And I'm like, you know what? I never imagined Sueña Impacta Ecuador. Or someone spoke to me today from Washington, and we were like literally, like during every week something's happening. And I'm like, I need an assistant. I'm my own assistant right now. I'm my own like community manager. I think it happens to you. We have to do like everything right now. I'm like, one day God will prosper me, and I'll be able to have a community manager and assistant. And I'll be able to relax. But yeah, it's been amazing because all these opportunities are coming and it's opened my spectrum a bit to dream big, even bigger than I was dreaming before.
Yeah, definitely. I think pase lo que pase, nos va a tocar lo que nos toque. Pero, o sea, don't rush to get to the end goal. Just enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
Eso es un mensaje que les digo de experiencia. Enjoy the journey. Too many people want to get to the end very quick. Y así no es.
Enjoy the process.
Enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. Donde lo lleve la vida. Yo, por ejemplo, hay muchas veces where I've gone, me quiero ir para Colombia, me quiero ir para USA. I just want to experience it. Pero yo sé que todavía no me toca eso. I've just got to relax a little bit and be like, cálmese, Juan. Cálmese un poquito que le va a tocar, pero no todavía. Just enjoy the journey. Enjoy the stress. Porque eso es lo que es. Ahora, it can feel... So stress right now for you can feel like it's up here, but it's literally right here. Espero que empiece su vida de verdad and that stress. I think that's the message. Just enjoy the journey, enjoy the life. Yeah, I think I want to go to Colombia. I want to visit La Cárceles, La Picota. I think I want to visit as well. And just hear people's stories, because people forget that la gente en Colombia tiene un sueño también y desafortunadamente no tienen las oportunidades que tenemos nosotros.
I think you have great potential. I think you're just starting a great journey in social activism and just using your voice out there to inspire. I think if something you can take away today as well is to carry on dreaming.
Yeah.
Don't limit yourself. Because I feel it. I think you have great potential to do many great things. And the best thing is that you're already thinking of those ideas. You know, you've been given the creativity to say, you know what, I'm going to do something. I can help you out with going to those spaces in Colombia, unis where you can talk to young people as well. And I think, you know what's so cool that we can share, because some people think, because sí hemos crecido aquí quizás con oportunidades, pero no quiere decir que no han habido retos y desafíos también. And it's really nice for people to be able to hear that, you know, we have been in London, but it's not everything as perfect as you think. There has been challenges, because people think like, because we've migrated, then everything has been like a piece of cake. And there has been moments of difficulty. So it'll be amazing for many people to hear your story as well, and how you've been able to rise up to the challenges, like I said before.
Definitely, bro. Y un mensaje para los colombianos que viven en Colombia, por favor. No somos millonarios. We don't have a lot of money. We work. We struggle. Nosotros tenemos nuestros problemas. Tenemos nuestros trabajos 9 a 5 o 3 a 11, como quieran. La madrugada, la lluvia.
We have our office jobs.
Los oficinistas. El clima, la gripa que nos da cada año. Nosotros sufrimos también. Nosotros no somos millonarios. Por favor, cálmense un poquito. We might be in a little bit of a better economic state than Colombia, pero just un poquito más tranquilitos.
We still have some challenges.
We do. I don't think people... I think it's better now in Colombia and they understand that, pero yo me acuerdo que cuando era pequeño, mis tías o familiares de mis papás, necesito plática, me manda. But they don't get that they've worked hard for that money.
They think it just grows from the trees.
But yeah, I think the message is just chase your dreams, do what you want, and don't let the struggles affect you. Just keep going, trusting in the journey, trusting God, if you believe in God, and achieve everything you want to.
Yeah, no, thanks for the invite. I'm grateful to be able to share. These spaces are amazing.
Yeah.
For people to hear our stories and how we've been able to face difficulties, challenges, and we're still here in the process. And something, like I said at the beginning, that is great nowadays, that, you know, we feel we can be more genuine and, you know, just open up to those perhaps issues that we've had to face in our own personal lives, emotionally, financially. You know, like I said, I feel much more comfortable just sharing who I am. So and just dream big, but always desire also to impact through those dreams and through what everyone's doing.
Yeah, stay humble. Don't forget where you came from. I think I'll message you about a couple of projects that I want to do. There's things that I want to do, and I think you'd be the right person to partner up with. Porque, o sea, yo quiero hacer un poco de cosas, pero el problema mío es que I go in too deep and too quick into things without thinking of how to do them. Pero es algo que definitivamente quiero hacer. Yo agradezco su apoyo, honestamente. Lo aprecio mucho. I've known you, like I said, since 2021. Y honestamente todo lo que usted hace, I've been amazed. We were speaking earlier, y la gente pone las partes bonitas del camino and the successes. Pero con usted yo siento que actually there's been a genuine connection. I don't feel like I have that with a lot of people. Y honestamente, bro, you are going to go far in life.
Thanks, bro.
I can see it, and yeah, bro, you're going to do a lot for Colombia. You're going to do a lot for London immigrants. I can see it. And, bro, honestly, no le puedo decir lo orgulloso que soy de estar aquí con usted, de ver lo que usted hace. Very, very proud. And honestly, bro, like I said, you're going to do bits in Colombia.
Count me in, because I'm already dreaming here with
Yeah.
you. We're gonna do a good tour in Colombia, visiting universities.
100%.
I wanna start sending some messages later on.
Hágale.
Thank you, and yeah, you're a great inspiration as well. Thank
you, bro.
Thanks for having me here.
Thank you.
And thank you for using your voice. I'm very inspired as well and motivated.
Thank you, bro. I think I learned it from you, so
I receive motivation from everywhere as well.
Yeah. But bro, thank you for coming on, and honestly, keep up the amazing work, and wherever life takes you, just
amen.
Keep on inspiring.
Amen. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, bro. You know what?
God bless you, man.
Thank you, bro. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Go follow Hugo Enrique on his social media. He's doing bits. You can see his posts. You can see his travels in Colombia, the help that he does. But yeah, guys, love, like, share, subscribe, and keep on sharing the stories.